Eddie Munson became one of the standout characters of Stranger Things Season 4, a charismatic leader of the Hellfire Club.
This is Hellfire Club.
A hero who sacrificed himself, and a character whose death became one of the most painful moments for fans. But what if he didn't entirely die?
Jesus.
You've probably heard the theory that Eddie might return in Season 5, and it actually has real evidence behind it. Although Matt Duffer even said, "I like that Joe Quinn keeps the curiosity alive, but no, he's dead." And Joe is currently so busy with new projects that he physically wouldn't have the time to return. But fans of Marvel and Game of Thrones have already learned one thing. When showrunners give very specific denials, it doesn't guarantee that the character won't appear again. Usually, it means just one thing. Their return is too important to reveal ahead of time. Let's break it down. First of all, his body was never found in Hawkins. He died in the Upside Down, the perfect place for Vecna to use him, to resurrect him, twist him, and turn him into a weapon against the group, especially against Dustin, who was the closest to him. One of the strongest arguments in the vampire Kas theory is Eddie's connection to Dustin. Eddie's death scene was built specifically to hit Dustin the hardest. This is an important emotional foundation because Vecna feeds on weaknesses, trauma, and feelings. And who, among all the characters, carries the most painful wound right now? Dustin. His guilt is the perfect entry point. If Vecna brings Eddie back, altered, memoryless, or under his control, then Dustin becomes the most vulnerable of all the heroes. Now imagine Dustin's emotions. He comes face to face with a creature that looks like an enemy, but its movements, its eyes, its gestures, there's something familiar in them. This becomes the moment that breaks him emotionally, and it could very well become one of the key scenes of the entire season. If Eddie returns as Vecna's Dark Knight, he becomes a distorted version of the friend Dustin loved. This is no longer just a battle against a monster. It's an inner conflict. Can you save a friend who's become a monster? And Dustin would be the only one who believes it's still possible. Secondly, Eddie died from bat attacks, and in Dungeons & Dragons, bats are a direct symbol of vampires. There is even a specific character, the vampire knight Kas, Vecna's former ally who eventually rose up against him.
Hail, Lord Vecna.
In D&D, Kas turns against Vecna not because he's a hero, but because he remembers who he used to be, an emotional bond strong enough to overpower the darkness. In the show, Dustin could become that trigger. A single moment, a word, a look, a phrase, could bring Eddie's consciousness back.
I wish everyone had gotten to know him. Really know him. Because they would have loved him.
And here's another parallel. In his final episode, Eddie fights literally like a knight, with a shield and a spear. Kas has the same long hair as Eddie. And most importantly, Kas was mentioned in the very first episode of Season 4, and it felt like a hidden clue.
So it was thought, my friends, so it was thought.
So it's possible that Vecna could bring Eddie back as his Dark Knight, something resembling Kas. And this wouldn't just be a comeback, it would be a blow to the entire group. Emotional, painful, and incredibly dramatic right before the final battle. Will Eddie return? Will we see Kas on screen? Season 5 will give us the answers.
Time's up.